Hello and welcome to Grumpy Gamers. You're here with me, Pete, and along with me this week I have Ben.
Hello.
And Kirk.
Yo.
And that's it for now. Because No Eddie, yeah. I mean, he's so busy. He was working till at least 6:15 today. So obviously
he was working till at least an hour ago. And
I call bullshit.
With an hour spare, there's no way he could have sat in the same chair, at the same computer, and just done a podcast. There's no possible way.
I mean, look, it's just unrealistic, and we all know it. It's because of the deep preparation he puts into new releases. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen a man do so much, but display so little of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, the document, we could publish it as a novel sometimes, the amount of stuff he puts in there.
Fucking hell, yeah. He's good shift, that boy. Puts in a good shift.
He summarises it very swiftly. So,
does he?
Yes, yeah, we're very sad to have lost Eddie this week. But we do sort of have a replacement in our feature, don't we, guys?
We absolutely do.
Yeah, we've got a guest.
We have a guest. Yes.
Do we say who he is now, or do we?
Yeah, say the guest.
Yeah,
because then people might go.
People otherwise,
that is true. Yeah. They'd be killing over, won't they? We have the host of What the Fuck Do You Want as podcast, Christopher. So, or
yes,
Deadbeat
indeed.
Punk, as he's more commonly known. So, he'll be joining us in a bit, and shenanigans.
Yeah, and we finally answered the question he asked us in March.
Yes, it was a while ago. It was a
fuckload time ago, wasn't it? We
was.
kind of trying to fit him in on the feature has been tough. We've had so much content.
I mean, you say that. I think it's just laziness on all of our parts and not pulling our fingers out.
Yes,
that's not pulling my finger out.
True. Oh no, it wasn't just you, Kirk. We're all deeply lazy. That's half the fun.
Thank you.
I mean, this is entirely your fault, but generally speaking, we are all lazy. Yes, yeah.
Okay, that took a turn.
Yeah. But I suppose we should point out that before that, we are going to get to the news and, of course, the new releases with sadly no preparation, and it's Kirk doing them. So
yeah, boy, can't wait.
Prep yourself for that. And then, of course, we'll be talking what we've been playing, which includes Trek to Yomi, which we have literally all been playing.
We have. And is it not Trek to Yomi?
No, Eddie's not here, so we can actually pronounce it normally.
I'm so glad Eddie's not here.
Yeah, it does help. It does help. But we should, before that, point out that, Ben, you streamed.
Oh, I did stream. It was the first time in a couple of months, wasn't it?
It was, and it was really good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we had a decent stream. So we played Sifu. We played on easy mode, obviously, after the update last week. And we did the first 3 chapters of 6, so we did half the game.
Yeah, and I mean...
So that is pretty good.
Now you've reminded me it's easy mode. It makes a lot of sense, because the last time I saw you stream, it was Returnal, and if I just wanted to watch Death on repeat, I'd have loaded up Elden Ring. So... Yeah,
that game is tragically hard.
For you, I mean, massively so, yes. I can agree on that.
Yes, Returnal is difficult for everyone. I'm sure that must be the case. No, but honestly, with this update, Sifu is really fun. Recommend it. And actually, thanks to everyone who did turn up for the stream. Hopefully, as we go on and we start streaming a bit more consistently on Thursdays at 7 p.m, we can get a few more people in the chat. But yeah,
maybe a cheeky Friday every now and then as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We get some Fridays in as well. But it was really good. And I think John actually got Sifu after watching the stream. Now that is good. Like we got Sifu a sale there.
Yeah,
I'm expecting a little kickback. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't getting that. You're not getting that kickback.
Also, just to raise it, Ben, did you just message in the chat saying stop banging?
Yeah, Pete, you are banging your mic.
Fantastic. Okay, good.
So I'm saying shut the fuck up and stop banging your mic.
I thought
because I will have to edit that shit.
Was. I don't think I banged the mic. I think I banged the table. But now I'm on a wooden floor. It's very noticeable.
Oh, yes.
So enjoy.
You have to stay completely still for these podcasts, Pete. Okay.
Yeah,
I think there's been about 3 bangs so far, and my theory was getting
it only gets worse from here, Ben. I guarantee you that. Now I'm nervous about it. I'll obviously start moving more. So, it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy at this point. But to delay it by moments, shall we kick on with the news?
Yeah, I better go, hadn't I? So we've got...
Kurt, we've got quick news.
Shit.
Sorry. We do a save now with
save
quick
the build-up
news.
for yours, which is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. We can't wait for Kurt's
shit.
Kirk's got Eddie's story. And you're so into it, aren't you?
So into it. Yeah.
Couldn't wait to get it over with. But we got the quick news. Right, new Mafia game reportedly in development at Hangar 13. It's said to be a prequel.
Awesome.
That's the first quick news.
Okay.
The second one, Halo Infinite Season 2 multiplayer launched, including Last Spartan Standing. I know last week we were like saying, oh, is there like that kind of battle royale Halo thing? We said, like, oh, wasn't that rumoured or something? No, it actually just came out in Season 2. So there is that game mode. It's only got one map, though, which I think is weird, and I don't think it's that good, so I've heard. And the progression was bugged when it came in, so
fantastic.
Good start.
Only positive things for Halo, then. Good, yep, great.
Yeah, good game going down the pan. Anyway, Summer Games Fest was also announced to be coming on the 9th of June. So UK time, that's 7 p.m. And we actually discussed last night whether if people are interested, we might actually live stream it. We'll have to check out how we actually do that. Kirk and I were talking this morning, like how is that? How do we do that?
We'll figure it out. But if people want to watch us react and just talk shit as we're doing it, then give us a thumbs up on Twitter or something. Let us know somehow.
So, and I mean, knowing these two, they'll do it anyway. But, do let us know first if you actually want to, if we're just doing it because.
Yes, if you don't let us know, then we'll just do it anyway and there'll be nobody watching.
Exactly, yeah.
It'll just be YouTube content, baby. And the last one of the quick news is that Steam's most wishlisted game, wishlisted?
Yes.
Yeah, wishlisted game. The day before, I don't know if you remember that, it's a MMO survival game, and I think it's zombies as well. Mm-hmm. I've wishlisted it, and so has Eddie. It's switching to Unreal Engine 5, but it's been delayed to March 2023 from June 21st this year. Now, I didn't know the release date was actually June 21st. They must have slipped that in somewhere. But yeah, it's March 2023 now. So
that's quite a delay, but I guess if you're switching your entire engine, that's kind of to be expected.
It does make sense. I'm skeptical because that game looked so good because there was actually the gameplay footage about a year ago or a year and a half ago, and it looked insane. And you're just like, it's so far. You just don't know how much of that was so sandboxed and created for that one particular reveal.
Yeah.
I'm skeptical as to how good it could actually be because it looked fucking insane.
Yeah, fair.
Anyway, that's the quick news.
Fantastic. Right, Kirk, you're up.
Is it my time now? Is it my time?
It's your time to shine.
Excellent. Right. So, Nvidia have been fined $5.5 million for downplaying importance of volatile crypto mining on sales of gaming GPUs. So this comes courtesy of our friends over at Eurogamer.net. And what I'm going to do here is, because Eddie's not here, and this is his story, and I'm doing the new releases, I'm going to do it in a way that he would. So I'm going to go full read mode. All right? So,
right. Okay. I feel like you're making an excuse there and then palming it off as Eddie, but it's actually just you're failing.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
Anyway, the US Securities and Exchange Commission has fined Nvidia $5.5 million for failing to properly disclose the impact of crypto mining on revenue the company earned from the sale of its gaming GPUs. A failure, the SEC says, deprived investors of critical information needed to evaluate the company's business in a key market. Announcing the results of its investigation, which specifically relates to Nvidia's actions during its fiscal year 2018, the SEC claimed that while the tech company had reported material growth in revenue within its gaming business at the time, it had failed to reveal to investors that, based on its own information, its gaming sales were driven in significant part by crypto mining. Now, why is that important? As the SEC puts it, these significant earnings and cash flow fluctuations related to the volatile business for investors to ascertain the likelihood that past performance was indicative. I fucking messed it up.
Indicative.
Indicative. Yeah. It was also ascertain.
Yeah, ascertain. Not what did you say?
Ascertain.
Ascertain.
Ascertain. I'm fucking good at reading.
Honestly,
even in full read mode. Brilliant. Start off where I got off from. Of future performance. Right. Ultimately, the SEC's investigation into the matter found Nvidia to be in violation of Securities Act of 1993 and the disclosure provisions of the Securities Exchange Act of 1934.
We don't need to know the acts.
Yeah. This is all important. This is all the legal side, mate. Anyway, so they've agreed to pay the 5.5 million, and they haven't actually admitted or denied what the SEC have found. So, yeah, there you go.
Come on, Kirk, break it down for us. Really get into it here for us.
Really get into it. Okay, so they've done something naughty, and they've been called out on it. They're paying for it because they know they've done something naughty, but they're not admitting to it with any kind of public statement.
Yeah,
brilliant. That would have been so much better to have just said that than
everything you did at the end there.
Naughty Nvidia.
It's not Nvidia. Oh my days.
Well,
naughty.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, they're paying this because it's a drop in the ocean compared to the amount of money they actually made off them. And
That's true.
The vast majority of that money came from crypto miners, at least of late.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they really care, if I'm honest. They'll probably change it going forward, but I'm pretty certain they don't actually care about this happening at all.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why the graphics card shortage, I mean, obviously there's the chip shortage, but people are using it for crypto mining, aren't they?
Yeah,
using
massively.
their chips. I mean, that it's well documented and it's quite obvious. So it's a big part of their business at the moment, isn't it?
It's absolutely huge, and obviously they have a shorter lifespan for miners than they do for gamers. So from their perspective, they kind of want more miners because it means more turnover when they can meet demand.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think they care at all, and I sincerely doubt it's a big deal for them. But
Drop in the ocean, isn't it?
yeah, but nice to see the SEC sort of have a look at it, even if it's for stock shareholder reasons as opposed to anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. It will change no practice, and we still won't be able to get 390s when we want them, bastards. That's a problem for us PC gamers. I did enjoy you reading that though, Kirk, because you went full read mode, you failed at full read mode, and you picked up speed when you made mistakes, which is always going to make it worse.
I just want it to be over, Pete. I just want it to be over.
Kirk, I just don't understand why you can't read something in advance and then just summarize it in 2-3 sentences.
Because I'm not very good. I'm not very good at that. I'm a designer. Okay.
Ben, just like Eddie, he just didn't have the time. We told him about this at 6:15, and he just didn't have the time.
God, he just had no time.
I mean, to be fair, Pete, you did fucking say you could take that last story that's there, Kirk, and I had like 20 minutes, and I was not available at that time. So,
well, at least you've read it now, I suppose. At the same time that our listeners have heard it. Fantastic. Yeah. I feel we should move on from that debacle. So,
I think so.
Yeah.
We're going to go into another one of these, which is that the FTC has opened a probe on the Sony Bungie deal.
Oh.
Yeah, now probably not the one you're expecting me to talk about when it's the FTC and some kind of acquisition, but here we go. It's Sony and Bungie. So obviously in January this was announced for $3.6 billion. And yeah, as has become the norm for this, the FTC have opened an in-depth investigation. So apparently this is going to set back the closing date for the deal by 6 months at least.
Jesus.
And yeah, I think, what were they looking at originally? Later this year, wasn't it? They were hoping for, and now it's looking like next year in total. And Bungie came back with, no, wait, I've gone too far down. Sorry, guys. My bad. Sorry, guys, I'm doing a Kirk. I'm failing here completely.
I'm rubbing off on you.
Oh, please don't phrase it that way, Kirk.
Just speed it up now, and you'll be golden.
No, what I'm going to do is just make banging noises in the background so that takes away from
Pete,
anyone.
it's relentless.
I don't even know what's causing it, honestly. I'm not moving at all. I'm trying so hard here. I've become like one of the angels in Doctor Who when I'm not being watched. Like, that's literally the level we're talking. Unless somehow my mouth is the thing making the noise. But, move on. Anyway, as noted by the information, while the FTC may not be able to block the deal, its decision to review it is the latest example of how aggressive the agency is becoming in reviewing these mergers. Bungie, however, don't seem particularly worried, in particular because apparently one of the major things here is that Bungie's games could become PlayStation exclusives or Sony exclusives. And Bungie turned around and went, no, We want the worlds we are creating to extend to anywhere people play games. We will continue to be self-published, creatively independent, and we will continue to drive one unified Bungie community. Which, admittedly, is actually the statement from January. But, it was included in this news article, so we're getting it again. We now know that they're looking at Activision Blizzard, obviously, after the four politicians, including Bernie Sanders, had their little say a little while ago. And now they are looking at this one as well. Do we see it stopping them?
I don't think it stops anything. And I think consolidation is the name of the game in the market at the moment. What I'd be annoyed of if I was Sony or Microsoft, I suppose, if a bit more obvious than the Microsoft one, I suppose. But if a deal like this is delayed, like you say, delayed by 6 months, you'd be pretty pissed off, wouldn't you? That's time where you could be earning off this deal. That's the whole point of you doing these deals, to earn off the back of them.
Yeah.
And someone's just delaying that. If they come back with nothing, you'd be like, can we be compensated?
Yeah.
Because, what is this?
3.6 billion isn't exactly a small amount of money, is it? So to that end, it's you can't. There's no return on investment until this is done. But to that end, as we said, I don't think it's going to change anything. I think more than anything, it's just having kind of institutes like this actually looking into it, so that it's not just you're just not having the companies going, oh, I'll buy that, oh, I'll buy that, oh, I'll buy that, and then that's it, and nothing's ever looked into. So I think to the wider consumer, it could come across like, well, so these companies can literally just do whatever the fuck they want because they've got all this money.
But they can. I mean, it's not like this part of consolidation, like Sony buying Bungie. I mean, it's not exactly gonna. It's not rocking the gaming world, is it?
No. It's
weird.
This is the thing. I am not a big fan of monopolies, as we've discussed before in this podcast in general. Although, weirdly, I'm cool with Steam having one. But, that's just convenience. And I don't really see either of these as in any way suggesting a monopoly. Like, it's not a big deal. Neither of them are. They are just normal acquisitions, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because I'd be interested to know whether any Embracer acquisitions get looked at. Is it only because Sony and Microsoft are console producers? Is that the reason why? Because Embracer are fucking huge.
Yeah.
Formerly THQ Nordic, they're absolutely monstrous. They own every bastard. Like, fucking name them, they own them.
Yeah, they've got a massive roster, don't they?
After last week, looking at the chart of ownership that they've got, it's just like, Jesus wept.
Yeah, it's absolutely mad.
It's monstrous. So I wonder what does get looked into, but is it just from this like anti-competition standpoint? Is that the only thing that's going on? And why does that set a deal back 6 months?
Yeah, 6 months does seem bureaucracy is the straight answer, isn't it? That's why it takes that long for everyone involved to come back to one another. But it is a bit mad. But you can't think there's any other reason they're looking at these, can you?
No, it's not like it's it won't be underhand. Like Sony aren't going to do anything like that. They're not going to not risking it all for that. So it's just anti-competition. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Let them get on with it.
I think that's the thing it's a good sign that this much interest is being taken in them, but both of these, I'd rather they spent more money on Activision Blizzard and just kind of gave some problems to Bobby Kotick, but I don't think it's anti-competitive, either of them. No,
I don't think so either. No. I actually don't think the Activision one will be at all. I don't believe it's this earth-shattering thing that other people think it is.
Yeah.
Anyway. That's. Should we move on to my story?
I feel we should.
So, Square Enix did actually keep one of their franchises when they sold a load last week.
Yeah.
I mean, they kept quite a few, but they kept the mighty Outriders series.
Awesome game.
The franchise. You say that, Kirk. I really liked it.
You did.
But
you did. I remember.
Many people didn't, but I really liked it. They initially said, though, Kirk, that this was their next big franchise because 3.5 million people played it in the first month.
Yeah.
It was on Game Pass, though.
Yeah, it was on Game Pass.
But still, 3.5 million people. So we did a news story on it last year, I think, when other proper news outlets were running this about saying the royalties. So royalties were to be paid to People Can Fly, that's the developer, if certain cost-covering targets were met. But they have released a statement, or they probably did it in their financial statements or something like that, and said the group received no royalties from the publisher for the period to December 31st, 2021, which means that, as at the reporting date, net proceeds from the sales of Outriders were insufficient to cover the costs and expenses incurred by the publisher to develop, distribute, and promote the title. So, what they're saying is that it didn't make a profit.
Yeah, that's pretty
actual
bad.
Sales of the game. Is it though? So, this is the question I wanted to ask you guys. So, would you expect a game that released on Game Pass? Because I'm assuming, let's just say the deal was that they get paid royalties on actual purchases of the game. Not Game Pass is separate, so they got paid for Game Pass. I'm sure they got paid handsomely, and that's very good. But they were to make royalties. They had to sell a certain number of games. Would you expect, if you put your game on day one Game Pass, for you to make good on the other side on actual normal sales? Because I certainly wouldn't.
I don't know. Was Outriders just Xbox?
No, it was on PlayStation.
It was on PlayStation.
I was buying it on PlayStation until the week before.
Right.
It got released on.
Yeah,
they said it was Game Pass because I played the demo on PlayStation, loved it.
And it was on PC as well, wasn't it? So
yes,
yeah. So it's a multi-platform release. I'd kind of still expect it to at least make money. I think even with 1/3 of that ecosystem taken away.
It's not a third though, I don't think, because like me, I would have bought it on PlayStation, but I just went through. I wasn't a lost person.
Yeah.
It's not as if I had one console. I actually just actively chose to get it on the Xbox because I actually just had two consoles. I don't know. Like I think a lot of people jump on this and go, "Oh, Outriders didn't even make a profit." Yeah. They probably did make a shit ton of money. Because I'll tell you for why. Because they've got a DLC coming out next month, June the 30th. They've got a DLC called World Slayer that's coming out for Outriders. Okay. And I cannot imagine they've been working for free.
Yeah.
So
you think not?
No, but I actually, as I said, I really like this game. I thought the powers that you get in it, I liked it more than Gears of War.
Oh,
I liked it more than the latest
statement.
It's a strong statement, but I think a completely valid one.
Okay. As someone who doesn't like Gears of War, I thought that was a really low hurdle to be jumping. But yeah.
But yeah, the more surprising thing about this is like every time this story kind of comes up, the perception is that the developer, People Can Fly, are just like told by Square Enix, like, nah, no money this time. Yeah. It's like they don't know how many sales were made. Like if I'd made that game, I'd be phoning up Square Enix every fucking week saying, give me an update.
Yeah.
Oh no, we haven't got one. Give me a fucking update. I want to know how many we sold.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
the dial
it's
hasn't shifted
surprising.
since last time you rang. So.
What was the number before? None. Right. Okay. Great.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, I'll move us on to the next one. So, did you guys hear about the Xbox Live server outage over the weekend?
I did. Yeah. Did hear about it.
Did you get affected by it at all?
Not in the slightest.
No, neither did I. But this is from The Verge. There was an Xbox Live outage that prevented some players from launching cloud games, playing digital games, and making purchases. And these issues started at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday night. So, Xbox support said in a tweet that players should no longer be seeing issues when it comes to purchases, launching games, or joining cloud gaming sessions. Sessions? Thanks for being patient. Happy gaming. But it did actually appear that it continued into Saturday morning, where in addition to what was going on, there were some players that were still unable to get into these games on cloud, launching their digital games. There was some, this wasn't even reported in this story, but I did see stuff on Twitter actually where people couldn't even launch their physical games because of the DRM. But so you got that, which is obviously a complete fucking minefield. But there was also, you couldn't even watch Netflix or Disney Plus. So if your console was your main system to do everything, you're completely fucked. It's just a brick at that point. So, although Xbox had resolved the problems in the end, there was obviously the problem with even if you had your console set to your home console, you couldn't play them due to their DRM policy. All of this was sorted by Sunday morning, but honestly, I didn't personally notice, and I was playing Rocket League until early hours in the morning, going into Saturday. That nothing popped up for me.
Right.
But this whole, yeah,
it started at 9 p.m. Saturday night our time, so of course it didn't affect you on Friday night.
I actually heard it had been going on it was over a couple of days.
Oh, really? Okay.
I actually heard that the first reports of it were before that, so around about like Friday, I think.
Obviously, that doesn't feel like I haven't reported that. So Pete's point is valid based on what I'm saying. So thank you, Pete, for pointing that out. But thank you, Ben, for pointing that out. So I'm technically right. I'm technically wrong. So that was the main thing.
What just happened then? That was a strange little. Okay, yeah, fine. You know.
I think the main thing with this is it's really put to light how companies put forward this whole online only system. Now, obviously, everything is going to be online only or rely heavily online. But if you're going to get to a point where you go and say, okay, you can't do anything with this if you haven't got an internet connection, something has to change. So obviously there was this huge outcry online where people were saying, even for things where you've got a disk drive like the Series X, you should be able to put that game in and play it, and there should be like a buffer. So I think something that I read was that there's supposed to be a 7-day DRM like accessibility thing. So once you're online, it kind of gives you 7 days if you do go offline, essentially. But that even failed.
Yeah, because a DRM, for those who don't know, and I think I'm getting this right, it's digital rights something or other.
Digital rights management.
Yeah.
It recognises that you are the person that should be playing that game. That you own that game, that you've purchased that game. So, and a lot of games need that to kick in before they'll even work at all.
Yeah.
Even the physical ones, it seems to turn. Yeah. It turns out. So that's why we're talking about DRM.
Surely you should have a cached copy on your consoles. That would surely make that. I suppose it can't verify it. It's not going to make any difference.
There was a huge like outcry after this. Completely unacceptable. This is ridiculous. This is the problem. To be honest, like, this is really good. This is really good that it happened, because they will make changes. Like, it just brings it to the forefront. Now, they would have known that there's an issue with this. Like, I think Sony knew as well. Like, it's been well documented. People, vocal corners of the internet talk about this stuff, and we've talked about digital ownership and what that actually means. And if somebody just turns it off on the plug somewhere, suddenly you can't play anything. We've talked about
stupid
that
intern. Yeah.
Do you remember there was a problem back when the PS3 was out? There was a huge uproar with PSN then, and there was an outage for, I can't remember if it was days or weeks, but Sony basically
I thought it was like
had
7 days or something, wasn't it?
But Sony had to give a free game out to everybody as a digital download.
This has happened and before, but obviously it was less important back then, I suppose.
Yeah.
And we've had GT7 when that came out, that like went offline for 2 days or something ridiculous. Like, that is crazy, and it's not acceptable. But with something like this, which is so beyond just the level of one game, it's like Microsoft they are the best at this stuff, like online stuff. They are the best. They're pretty much the best. People go, no, they're not. This guy, they're up there with the best. They got the most resources. Blah blah blah. This then will just highlight the problem, and this will go a long way towards helping solve it. So it is actually a good, retrospectively, may if you were affected and it was your day off and that's really shit. Yeah, but long term, this will help things for gaming.
Yeah, this is a positive.
Yes. Come on, guys.
Yeah, what we say by them fixing it is we'll come back, and the next time your Xbox is offline, it will just play that dinosaur jumping rocks game like Google Chrome does if you haven't got the internet.
Yes.
It'll be like, see, it's fixed. You've got a game you can play now.
Yeah.
We've added in a Battle Royale mode for you as well.
But I'll be that guy that when it goes offline and I turn on my Xbox, I go, motherfucker.
Then have to sit there for half an hour going, this is a positive. This is a net positive. Future Ben likes this. Future Ben is happy this happened.
Future Ben is really happy right now. Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Speaking of things falling off of the face of the earth, I think you've got something, haven't you, Pete?
Yes, indeed. And I was actually going to say, there's one person in the world who probably would have been very happy to lose connection. One person, and that was, of course, Babylon's Fall's only player on PC on Wednesday, the 4th of May.
What a fucking hero!
I mean, what a person. I have nothing but respect for them being the only player on a game. But it's probably not a great sign for the game, is it, guys?
No.
Oh, right. You want me to turn that into a positive? Okay, right. well, it can only go up. No. It can. It could definitely go down.
It can still, it's more likely to go down, I suspect. But we should point out, of course, it is also on PS4 and PS5. So, and we can't check that. So I'm sure there are at least 2 of them. But yeah, this of course follows up on our report a couple of weeks ago that it had dropped below 10 in mid-April on Steam. And to be fair, 10 down to 1 over a full month. Well, no, it's the 9th of May. Over like 2 weeks is great. Oh, it's gone really badly.
I mean, percentage-wise, it's massive, but materially, they were fucked anyway.
Well, yeah, their highest ever peak sits at 1,166 players.
They're not looking back at that 10 and going, memories.
No, they're not looking back on that 1,100 and thinking that either. They're just going like, did we actually launch it? Like, did we tell anyone? Like, what happened?
Oh, Square Enix, man.
Yeah.
They don't want to make games.
What was their peak?
1,100, Cook.
1,100. Sorry, I fell asleep at the wheel there. My bad.
Yeah, we heard you yawn.
Jesus.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. God.
Yeah, it's. I mean, this is actually just a bit of tragic at this point, isn't it? It's
yes.
It struggled to get any interest at the beginning, and it's only got worse from there.
I might play it, you know.
Of course you would.
Again, Ben, I feel this could be your like perfect stream.
You'll be the only person streaming it, so you'll get all the people coming in saying, "Why is this fucking idiot playing this?"
Completely captive audience.
Exactly, because you're the only person playing, and you'll be watching your own stream. So
absolutely,
you've
one
closed
for one,
the
baby.
Circle. Like you've closed the loop, Ben. You're a completely self-sustaining ecosystem.
1 for 1, 100% viewership.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, and that's actually the best bit about this, I think. That is the best part of the news for the story. But yeah, Babylon's Fall is very dead. Very dead.
Do you know what I've noticed? We always seem to end the news section with something really depressing or negative.
It's almost we need to change by design, Kirk.
Yeah, actually, that's when we let Pete order the news. We should, Kirk, me and you need to get
next week. We need to let's order the news next time.
You both just sit there just beforehand going like, should we order the news then? And then just sit there until I go, right, well, we're doing this, and this. So I tend to just make it get more and more depressing so that at some point you'll notice.
Yeah, but Pete, now it's not depressing because it's new releases time, baby.
Oh, I know. God, and this is going to be the highlight of the show for me. And that includes
everyone strap yourself in.
Go on, come on.
Strap yourself in. Seatbelts on. Here we go.
Fucking hell, I don't like this. This is too much pressure. Knowing what happened last time and the shit that I got from people. Not only that, but Eddie's going to fucking annihilate me when he hears this next week.
I know.
Oh, no one wants to be no one wants to be annihilated by Eddie.
That's true. His poor girlfriend. Right.
Jesus Christ.
Whoa, changing topic on us there. Wow.
Whoa. Don't know what you were talking about.
Yeah, Jesus.
Segued. Right, so first new release. We've got Achilles Legend Untold, which is coming out on PC May 12th. End the conflict between Hades and Ares in this Souls-like action RPG. Battle gods, defeat mythological creatures, and gather resources alone or in co-op in Achilles Hill Legends Untold.
It's not Achilles Heel. It's not Achilles Heel.
Did I say Achilles Heel? Oh shit, I did, didn't I?
Well, is it because reading is your Achilles heel? Is that
it is
that
very good.
On your mind?
Shall we not? Let's not focus on me on this bit. Let's focus on what we're talking about with this game, shall we?
Go on, then, break it down for us.
You got to remember, Eddie fucked us over by giving up on the podcast 30 minutes before, and he didn't put any notes down. So I'm literally only reading the blurb.
Yeah, I'm aware, Kirk. I put the blurb there for you.
I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think of it. I mean, it reminds me of Rise on the Xbox.
No, it doesn't. It can't possibly.
Only in terms of like the
Romans.
design photos, the concept designs. Of course, that's how Kirk approaches it. No, they're not Roman. They're not Roman at all.
Like, it's not.
I mean, I am intrigued by the fact that Achilles is using a Spartan shield, but that's the public school boy in me looking at that, isn't it?
That's artistic license, Pete. You've got to let that go.
You've got to ignore that. Yeah, of course. He was definitely not from somewhere completely different. No, I actually think this could be quite fun. It's a Souls-like. It's a hack and slash, but it's a Souls-like, so it would be probably very entertaining gameplay, at least for a little while. I like isometric games, generally speaking, as well.
Exactly, yeah.
So
I think similarly.
Yeah, if you liked Hades, if you like games like that, it's probably going to be quite fun for you.
Yeah, it's early access. That's the key thing on this one. It's early access, 12th of May. It does look very good. The videos look good. It looks very Troy.
It does.
That's what I should have said.
It's playing off the Troy vibes heavily, but then with the isometric kind of Hades-like feel.
Yes, and lots of mythological creatures.
Yes, I think it looks really, really good. I love it when they just chuck in a Souls-like action RPG. Okay, but I loved it so much that I contacted the publisher straight after looking at this. So
I'm interested to know why you let our listeners know that you do that. Mm-hmm. Are you trying to flex?
No, I'm just saying that we could get a free game. Okay.
Yeah,
that's a flex, Ben. That's a flex.
I was with you until you literally made it a flex, broke it down into a complete flex.
Well, guys, we might get this one for free. You know.
Anyway, right. So, also coming to PC on May 12th is Cantata. Cantata.
Sure.
Yeah. Cantata.
Say it however your heart wants you to say it. Come on.
Cantata. Nvidia. No, Nvidia. So choose a commanding officer from one of three factions. Shut up! Don't. All right. Too much pressure.
Sorry.
Explore, expand, endure across campaign set on a mysterious planet steeped in mystical sci-fi lore. Fight tactical, turn-based battles across large maps. Play with friends in local plus. They've used a plus sign for that. That's weird. Plus online multiplayer. Mod the game and make it your own.
They probably have to pay the blurb for characters, or
it might just be the limitation on Steam.
Yeah,
so they couldn't use an ampersand then.
No, wasn't allowed.
Not allowed.
Yeah,
it's not on the character list.
So what do you guys think of this one?
I'm not a fan, if I'm honest.
Nor am I, actually. Yeah, I didn't like the look of this one.
It looks it does look a bit ropey, doesn't it?
Very much so, yes. I mean,
it looks like a NES game that they've put in isometric view.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's a stylized isometric, but the graphical style just doesn't appeal. I don't like the color palette of it.
No,
a lot of purples, greens,
pinks,
like muddy type of like sci-fi stuff. Yeah, it's not for me. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It reminds me of like RuneScape. That's.
Yes, I can see that.
UI and stuff. I'm shocked this is coming out in 2022. But good luck to them.
The problem is this game could be excellent mechanically, but it just will turn a lot of people off with its look.
Immediately. Yeah,
it's early access as well.
Fantastic. Yes.
Right. I'm gonna butcher this name on the next
don't
one.
worry, buddy. That's an improvement, if anything.
Right, I know the first bit. All right, it's the Centennial Case. It's just is it a Shajima? Is that how you say it? A Shajima story is what I'm going with, and it's coming out on PC. Shajima. Yeah, I should know that. It's kind of Shajima. Yeah, there we go. I got it. It's like Kojima, just with a she at the beginning of it, isn't it? PC, PS4, PS5, and Switch coming May 12th. Unravel the mysteries of death and find the answers to life. A unique mystery adventure game. The Centennial Case. A sashimi story.
A sashimi story.
Fuck!
Yes. Fantastic. Love that.
Anyway, so yeah, what's the thoughts on this one? I can't actually tell what do
you call these games that are like real life ones, which are like a film, but you just click?
Like movie interactive, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's a name for them, but it's a point and click game. You make decisions, you find things out.
Okay.
I don't think it looks very good.
Fair enough.
And you know what? It's a Square Enix game, so probably isn't going to be very good.
It's going to tank. They haven't had a good one for ages.
So also, it does look quite nice. It looks nice.
Yes, because they're real people.
It's real
Yes,
life.
I'm aware. But it does, as in the rest of it as well. Like, have you seen the puzzle screens and things like this? I quite like the look of the design they've gone with.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks all right, yeah.
Anyway.
Good. Very positive of you both. Fantastic.
Lovely.
Okay.
Lovely. Come
Okay,
on, Ben.
stuff.
Come on. Moving on. Flippin Cactus coming out on PC May 12th. Flippin Cactus is a 2D brutal action vendetta with a retro-inspired graphics and 80s vibe, featuring a spiky hero with the thorny past and rage outbreaks combat style. Now, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking the marketing team done a great job and the style of the graphics look great until you see what it actually looks like, and then you're like, okay, so they've really lent into that whole retro-inspired graphics thing. The 80s
You're
vibe
so
thing
right.
They really have, haven't they?
You're right about the marketing piece, because if you look at the images and the name of the game and all that kind of stuff with the characters, you're like, okay, let's see where this goes. And you actually watch it, and you're like, oh god.
Yeah. It has got worse graphics than Worms. Like,
Is that possible?
That's literally, I think, what they based it upon and just did it badly.
It kind of reminds me of Lemons.
That's definitely the generation we're looking at with this one. But yeah, the marketing is fantastic, I will grant you.
The thing is,
Go on.
I don't mind when like a game has gone for a stylized look, but it looks really clean. But this does look dated because it doesn't look clean. The graphics don't look clean.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it looks a bit Vaseline-y, doesn't it, as you put it?
When did he
it's just
okay.
Not that one. He said it before. Anyway.
Switch games. Usually
Switch
Vaseline. Yeah.
Oh, it does look like a Switch game. Yeah, you're right. It looks a lot like a Switch game.
That's not very kind.
It's hurtful, isn't it? Yeah.
It looks like a new release on Switch. Yeah, I could see that.
Okay, buddy.
Right. Moving on. This is I'll probably say this is the bigger game of this week.
Yeah, because Kirk, you've got to make a pick of the week at the end.
You do.
Okay. I didn't realise I had to do that as well. Fucking hell.
So this is in contention, is what you're saying?
Okay. Right. So we got Evil Dead the game. Literally the title of the video game that we're talking about, coming out on PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X's, Series consoles, and the Xbox One and Switch. Surprisingly, this is on May 13th. So step into the shoes of Ash Williams or his friends from the iconic Evil Dead franchise and work together in a game loaded with over-the-top co-op and PvP multiplayer action. I've seen stuff on this game. And I can't work out if I actually want to give it a go or not, because it looks like it could be fun.
Do you like Dead by Daylight?
No.
Well, don't play this.
But the mechanics of that, in my opinion, no, the way that handled, I couldn't get on board. It was it wasn't weighty enough. It just felt like your character was floating. I just didn't like the way that it played. But this game couldn't be just a copy and paste of it. So maybe the way that the character feels as I play would be better.
Did you like Friday the 13th?
Haven't played it.
Okay, well, Dead by Daylight, I did like. I thought it was really good. This is another one of those games, isn't it? Like, it's another one of the one person's the killer, four people, whatever, trying to get away and cooperate and all that kind of stuff, isn't it? And there is definitely an audience for those games, and definitely a streaming audience as well. Like, Dead by Daylight is one of the most streamed games out there.
Is it even now?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Wow.
It's really, really popular. And
I think it's the tension of it, isn't it, in that game?
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing they did so well was doing all the team ups with Stranger Things and things like that. Like they were just a marketing machine. It was done so well. The Evil Dead though, big franchise, isn't it? Big franchise. Exactly. It's got a big name to it. This game is kind of. It was delayed to this time, wasn't it? Because it was going to be released earlier, I'm sure. And it's been at some big events like a State of Play and stuff like that.
Honestly, the graphically, it looks fantastic as well.
I think it looks really good, yeah. I'm interested to see what it's like on Switch. Probably a bit Vaseline-y, but
much like Flippin Kakis looked, I imagine.
Exactly the same, Pete.
Slightly worse.
Okay, guys. Okay. But on the newer consoles, I reckon this game's going to look fucking wonderful. I was really disappointed because I thought this was coming to Game Pass, and I looked yesterday and I saw no sign of it. I think this could be a fantastic Game Pass game if it definitely. I think everyone would give it a go.
Yeah, I thought this was a day one Game Pass as well, so I'm a little bit surprised there.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is something that comes to Game Pass in a couple of months.
Yeah, I hope you're right, because
it has Game Pass written all over it. Like, see if they can make a bit of cash out of it first, and then when it fails, like Guardians did, then we'll throw it on Game Pass.
Actually, I think you're right there, because this does have a market. Like, all those people that play Dead by Daylight are probably looking forward to this game, so you might as well cash in on it, and then in a month or two...
Daddy Phil, can you give us a check and we'll chuck it on there?
Yeah, I'd play it if it was on Game Pass for sure.
Same. Definitely. I don't think I'll spend money on it. Not at the moment anyway. Not unless it was cheap enough.
No, I don't think I'd spend money on it either.
Yeah. As with all zombie games, if it was on Game Pass, I'd consider playing it, download it, and then never bother.
Yeah. Also, Dead by Daylight is on Game Pass, I believe. So
I think it is. That's how I played it.
Yeah. So it's a tough ask to expect this game to do very well when Dead by Daylight is kind of free. So.
True. Okay. So these, I'm just gonna rattle these two off. These next two, because they're both DLCs and they're both coming out May 17th and they're both on PC. So you got Endzone, A World Apart, Distant Places, and you got Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion. Anyway, next, Deadcraft, coming out on PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, and Switch again. This is May 19th. So, farm the dead to stay alive in Deadcraft. I'm just doing what Eddie does there.
I like it.
Very good. It was capitalised. You have to shout it.
Yes, exactly.
You have to, yeah.
Yes, you have to.
Yeah,
it's the law. It's the law.
You had no choice.
It's the rule of the internet. Yeah,
it is.
You had no choice.
A new twist on the zombie survival action genre. As a half-zombie, grow an army of loyal undead followers and build an arsenal to equip them to take revenge on the rulers of humanity's last city. So, this looks a bit odd. Don't you think?
Did you look at it, Kirk?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it now.
I quite like the look of it, actually.
I mean, he's got a really big arm.
I don't know if Pete's going to come down the other side on this one, but I don't think it looks that bad. I think it looks quite cool.
I'll be honest. I actually thought Ben game pretty much the moment I saw it. To be honest, I actually thought possibly Eddie after his recent games as well. But
I know it's also on the Switch, so
it is on Switch.
Yeah. Yes. It's definitely a Ben game.
But I like that. I like that take of it that you're like a half zombie. I like that.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
very interesting. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I like the look. I like the look of this one.
All
Deadcraft.
You can give us a review of it when you inevitably buy it. Fucking hell, I am all over the place.
Sorry, I'm not even reading that bit. What's happening here?
I know, I can't even make words come out of my mouth. Right.
I might buy it this week.
Right, yes, give us a review when you do. Anyway, moving on. Deliver Us the Moon, coming out on PS5 and Xbox Series X on May 19th. This looks like it could be a next-gen exclusive by the looks of it.
No, it was already on Game Pass before.
So this is the next-gen upgrade then,
It is, yeah. It's been out since like 2019.
If I'd done the research, or if I had someone do the research for me before they failed to come, that would have been great. Anyway, Deliver Us...
ages, mate. Ages.
Deliver Us the Moon is a sci-fi thriller set in an apocalyptic near future where Earth's natural resources are depleted. I mean, that's basically the thing anyway, isn't it? A lone astronaut is sent to the moon on a critical mission to save humanity from extinction. Okay. Did it review well before?
Very positive on Steam.
Yeah?
I think it's a mediocre game. I think it's a almost walking sim type game.
Yes, this is the thing. It's point and click adventure basically, isn't it? It's like Myst.
I think so, yeah.
So those who like it are going to like it before it's even come to them. Which is probably why on Steam it's got very positive reviews, because the people who would have paid for it are the ones who would automatically have liked it. Now, I will say it does look very cool, and obviously the storyline is one that appeals to me, and yet I look at it and I go, no, I'm not going to get that.
Yeah, I do know somebody when it came out who played it and they were very meh about it.
Fair enough. Right. Right. Final one then. Vampire: The Masquerade Swan Song coming out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on May 19th. Play as free vampire.
Hold on, Kirk. We should take a moment there to congratulate you on getting through like 3 words of more than 2 syllables without stumbling, and then really messing up when you got into your own speech. That was great. I was very happy about that. And it was what was the word? Coming? Was that the one that threw you there?
Yeah, I think so.
That was fantastic. Got through Vampire: The Masquerade Swan Song without a problem at all.
So anyway, I don't know why I do this. Play as 3 vampires, wield their powers wisely, and strike the right balance between your human and animal side in a heart-pounding story in which your choices will decide the fate of Boston. This is you all over, isn't it, Ben?
Yeah, it's a Ben game.
Vampires.
I'm torn. I'm torn because
you love a sexy vampire.
I do love a sexy vampire, but this seems like a non-handholdy detective type game.
Oh, so it's too hard for you?
I think it could be too hard and annoying for me.
Added on annoying there, by which the difficulty is the bit that annoys you. But.
Yes, absolutely. No, the thing is, like, this is I love vampire games, well documented. Play all the vampire games, love them.
Except for this one.
Not all of them anymore.
I'm gonna wait for a review. I think on this one. Obviously, if it reviews over a 4 out of 10, I'll get it.
Yeah.
But I do have the feeling that I'm hoping it would be a bit more Detroit. Beyond Human, Become Human, a bit more on that side than because I don't think there's combat or anything. Like I watched an IGN preview of this where they played a mission, and there was no combat in it, but it's like using your powers to decipher what's going on and that type of stuff. And like it sounds like it could be cool, but it might sound like a bit of a chore. I just don't know. I'm gonna have to wait for reviews and see what happens here.
Fair enough.
That's fair.
I mean, also just I was just going to say quickly before you go, Pete. Hasn't there been some Vampire the Masquerade games?
Oh yeah, it's recently? An ongoing.
Yeah,
it's an ongoing.
No.
But like there's like very recently.
Last week. Yeah. The Blood Hunt. Was on PS5. The Battle Royale game, which is doing really well.
Okay. Yeah.
Good, really good game. Like free to play, but it's like it's one of those free to play kind of AAA games.
Yeah, fair enough. Sorry, Pete, go on.
All I was going to say was we took a moment earlier to highlight the fantastic marketing on Flippin Kakis.
Yeah.
And I just want to add in with Vampire the Masquerade that when you have such a build-up as the blurb they had there, ending it with, we'll decide the fate of Boston. You know, like Boston's a great city. I've been there. It's a lovely place. But normally it's like the world, or if it's not that, it's like America or Europe. And then it's like, okay, it's not that. Could it be Massachusetts? No, it's not even the whole state. It's just Boston.
Yeah, but maybe that makes you feel like that it's even more powerful when you can make more of an impact because, you know, it's a close-knit thing. It's a smaller thing that you've really got in your
But why
hands.
Boston? Maybe you got to play the game to find out.
Yeah. I didn't know they had a big thing about Boston, the vampires, but...
Well, I think, the preview that I saw, it said, like, it's very lore-heavy.
Right. Okay.
About the families, the vampire and if you're into Vampire the Masquerade, because there's like so many games, I think it's a tabletop as well and stuff like that, isn't it? Like it's everything. Like there's so many different types of games. If you love that series and that franchise, then this is going to be right up your street. You're probably fucking super pumped for this.
Not you though. Anyway, them's the new releases. Sorry I did a shit job. Eddie's back next week, hopefully, if he's not working too hard or, skiving.
Kirk, I thought you did a wonderful job.
No, don't lie.
Kirk, I very much enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it.
For amusement.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
it was great.
That's what we are, Kirk. We're a form of entertainment, buddy. You're just playing into it. Come on.
Nobody's coming here for the
Maybe I'm playing my part.
Content.
Maybe I am just playing my part. You don't know. Anyway.
No, if it helps everyone, this is exactly what Kirk is like in real life. Yeah.
It actually is true.
Imagine if you had to deal with that for more than 2 hours a week. Anyway, I feel at that point we should move on to what we've been playing, shouldn't we?
Absolutely. Yeah. Shall I start with mine before we talk about Treacher Yomi?
Oh.
Yomi.
Well,
Yomi,
fine.
sorry.
Fine.
Yomi.
You do.
Yeah.
Eddie's not here. We can say it normally, guys.
Oh, yeah. Yomi, sorry. Treacher Yomi. So a couple of weeks ago, Switch Sports came out, and I didn't get it initially. I think I said on the pod that I was going to get it, but I kind of got kind of put off a little bit from some of the things that I was seeing in reviews or whatever. But then I saw one, I was like, right, I'm going out to get this. Online play was supposed to be quite good, like rankings, like you start off at a low level rank and you try and rank up. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll have a go at this. It's about £35 in most places, and I think Argos is like £32. So if you get it physically, it comes with a leg strap which you can use for one mini game in the football. So it's definitely not something that you need to get physically.
Huge reward.
You are not missing out. I tell you that. But there's 6 sports in it at the moment. The golf is coming, I think, in about 6 months, which is a bit shit. Because I loved golf on Wii Sports, but it is what it is. They got bowling, tennis, badminton, sword fighting, volleyball, and football. So a decent selection. But I get into that. Really disappointed the golf isn't there. You play 10 games of any one sport and then you can enter that ranked mode, like I was saying. And that's really kind of where it gets better. Yeah. Because it's competition at that point. I'm loving the badminton. Badminton is really good. I think it's the best of the sports for me, and pretty much I've been exclusively playing that. I've done a couple of games in every other thing, but badminton's where I'm at. Mm-hmm. And the bowling, because everyone plays the bowling because of Wii Sports. That's fucking difficult online, like, because you play 3 frames at a time, like in a knockout kind of situation. And if you just make one mistake, like you're done. You're completely out. You're out. It's a fucking hell. So anyway, I'm not going to say too much on this. I think it's you probably get what it is already. Like that's it. Like, it's lacking in content, but it's very good at what it does. But it's a classic. This is Nintendo's classic problem. They produce good sports games, I'd say. Like, I like Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, Mario Strikers is coming out soon, and it will fare exactly the same way. That it plays well, it's a good game, but there's nothing to fucking do. Yeah. Like, there are no game modes. There's no different online play. They should have more sports. They did Wii Sports Resort, where it had like more sports. Get more sports in your game on day one. Have different arenas, for fuck's sake. Just do something a bit different. Like with the badminton, you could do a whole game on that. Like, the mechanics of it are good. A lot of fun. It is really good, like playing against somebody else. But the problem is, like, the local play, unless you've got someone to play with, or the local play is pretty garbage. It's like, do you want to play like novice or medium or hard? That's pretty much like it. There's, in some things like the bowling, there's like some mini game type stuff, but other than that, the local play is garbage. So you have to play online, and then when you're playing online, you're just playing against people in a match, and then it's another match, and it's another match. There's nothing to it. Like,
so you don't. There's no like. Can you rematch or anything like that? Or
no, you can't, and you can't do. You'd expect like online tournaments or something.
Yeah.
Like you want. It doesn't seem like too much to ask. Like themed events, or like even if you played locally in local mode, like local championships, like where it's just like giving you some different opposition people dressed in different things. Like just trying to make it a bit themed or something, varying the difficulty up. But it just seems like nobody at Nintendo with these games sits down. They're at the table there and they go like, "Oh, we've made a really good kind of game there. Made a great game. Should we give them something to do with it? Nah, you're right. What? Well, just but it plays really well. So you got the guy that's fucking doing the game modes, and you're saying, "Oh, what have you got for us?" You go, play online, don't you? What though? You just play online. Okay, well, what kind of modes? Just a game.
So I do have a question for you. You mentioned about it when I can't remember when we discussed it, but what are the controls like in comparison to versus the Wii? Yeah.
So I think one thing, the Wii remote was very, very good at tracking.
Yeah.
I think that's a given, and I think the Joy-Cons are not quite as good, but they are good enough to do this.
Okay.
And you kind of sync it every time before a match, and then you play the match. I think it's very responsive with like the badminton.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Really, really responsive. I also think like if you're playing this with a mate or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or something, like that could be very fun. Like the volleyball is like made for, you could spend, I listened to the Offshore Games cast and they were saying like they played volleyball for like 8 hours, like him and his girlfriend. It's like, yeah, that's it. I think it was Dylan. And it's like, yeah, that's I can imagine that, because I played badminton for hours, just like because it's fun. But it is just the same thing over and over. But it does track very well, so it's very good gameplay wise. I'm really impressed with how it fares. I just want more. Like, don't release a game with 6 sport. Don't release without the golf. Come on, like, just release it 6 months later or something. Just, what is this trend of not releasing games with all the content in it? Like, you've done Wii Sports Resort.
The lifespan though, Ben.
Yeah, I know. Okay, well, how about you just do a good game, and then that'll increase the lifespan. Do you think people weren't playing Wii Sports at the end of the Wii's lifespan?
Oh no, of course they were, but I think most of them are still playing bowling, and that's why you have such trouble online.
But that's absolutely. But that's why you make a really good game, and then people will continue to play it. And I watched a video on this online, and it was very similar thoughts to that, where it's saying, well, they're trying to increase the lifespan by drip feeding content, but you know what happens? I just don't play your game ever again. Like that. But if you released a really good game up front, well, I'd probably continue playing that. Like if you had 10, 12 sports in this, or even the 6 that you've got, but just turn it into a game.
Yeah.
Just make it into like local tournaments, online tournaments. Like, make it fun on a Saturday. Do like, FIFA Ultimate Team on the Saturday. You can, if you qualify for it during the week, you get to enter a tournament. Why don't you just do a bit of that? Why did nobody sit around the table at Nintendo and just say, should we just like try and make something good? No, it's all right. We'll put in all of our effort into making it play well, but won't give them anything to do.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm really worried about Mario Strikers as a result of this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. No, they won't do any more. Yeah.
No, they won't. I'm really worried about Mario Strikers because I think it looks amazing, but what's the point?
They're all made for 2-player, Ben. That's all. They're all made for
Nintendo, man. Like, they make some quality games, like gameplay wise, but fuck me, just have a word.
Have a word with who?
Yeah,
with themselves in the mirror.
Jesus,
make a game. Jesus. Anyway, right. That's Switch Sports.
Right. And I guarantee you'll come back in 6 months saying how much you love the golf. But
I fucking love the golf. I bet I will. But Pete, there'll be one course. To
start with, yeah, of course. Of course they will.
To start with? No, to end with.
I mean, as you're someone who plays the same course religiously every week in real life.
Yeah, I do, and I love it.
Yeah,
so
I don't think you'll struggle for a little while in Switch World either. But especially as you can do it handheld, Ben, which is, of course, the best way to do it. So
no, you can't. No, I don't think... this is a good point. I don't think Switch Sports is available... if you've got just a handheld Switch, if you've just got a Switch Lite.
Oh, wow.
I can't believe you even played it, Ben.
Yeah. I brought the dock downstairs for it, actually. Pop the dock downstairs on the big TV.
That's interesting that you mentioned that, actually, because obviously it makes sense as to why, but surely can you not connect Joy-Cons to a standard Switch? Sorry, the handheld Switch?
Switch Lite? Yes, you can.
So you could still play the game, couldn't you?
You physically could on a very small screen when you're stood up and
No, I get that.
An interesting point would be whether Nintendo give a warning when you're about to.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting onto, because like you buy the game, you've got a Switch. Yeah, they don't do refunds.
That's not their thing.
You get the game, you take it back, and you're like, I can't fucking play it. Brilliant. Yeah, I haven't got the right bits, and that seems very anti-Nintendo.
It does, and a lot of their market is going to be Switch Lite as well. So, interesting little point. Sorry.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So very positive. Good. I feel we should probably talk about Trek to Yomi though, shouldn't we? Because
I think we should.
All 3 of us have played this. 2 of us to completion.
This is why Eddie's not on.
Yeah, because he didn't play it, so he's been banished. But. No, I mean, for anyone who's not aware, this is obviously the recent samurai game that was released last week and is essentially a Kurosawa film turned into a game, if we're honest.
It's beautifully shot.
It's gorgeous. And I think this is the way we should probably break it down, which is graphics, setting, storyline, etc., and then gameplay. That's at least how I'd like to approach this. Because
go for it. Yeah.
In terms of setting, graphics... It's gorgeous, as Kirk said.
Yeah.
The music's really well done. The way they have framed everything within the game covers for all of the bits it lacks. So it's as you mentioned when we were chatting on the phone, Ben, when it's grainy, you know it's intentional. It's not because of a problem with the game. That is just the style it's going for.
You can turn that off in the settings as well.
Yeah, you can if you want to. And it has a really nice progression through the story as well. I'm going to say that because I really enjoyed that part of it. And it actually does the kind of classic hero's journey, which, childhood trauma, quest for revenge, trip through the underworld. Very standard hero's journey. Look at Star Wars. It's almost exactly the same. But it's save for the fine details. So for that bit, I think this game is absolutely phenomenal. And I really enjoyed going through it for that. For the gameplay, well, should we let Kirk start?
I found... Are we talking about the combat system here, sorry?
Yes, that's the only gameplay there is, Kirk, yeah.
I mean, it's a fair point. It's very simple. It's very, very simple how this is. I know you've got button combinations with how you can do some different moves, and as you progress through the story, there are... you kind of learn new skills, don't you? Like, so you can press X, X, Y to stun and that kind of thing. But overall, it's like it kind of reminds me of like those old like Tekken games or something where you had to do like certain button combinations. But those games were more intricate and engaging than what I consider this to be, because I genuinely just found myself just doing the same thing over and over, and it worked fine.
Yeah, that is the problem. Slash the easiest way to get through it. I'm pretty sure you did the same as me most of the time, which was the same combo on the turn.
Yes,
parry
use
riposte. Like
I use the same like combos throughout the whole game, really.
Yeah.
The kind of quick slashes, the turn backwards and then slash behind yourself, and the stab straight in front of you. And as soon as you get a new combo, I just took it off the screen.
Yeah. Well, I maybe like if I had a moment, I might try it once and go, "This isn't as effective," and then go back to doing particularly the turn 3 slashes, because that was fantastic. That was by far and away the most powerful move in the game.
Yes,
I was going to say I'm quite happy to admit this. Up until I got to when I got into the second chapter, I still hadn't fully figured out how to do the parry and then attack.
Did you not?
No, and I kept like pressing LB and then pressing X, but I was doing the lunge stab attack that you do, and it's because I kept pressing forward, which you're not supposed to do. Are you supposed to do? You're supposed to let go of the left thumbstick and then press XX. Really annoying. Yeah. And then when I figured it out, I was like, oh, okay, kind of makes sense now. But it was really, I was like, am I just going to fucking lunge every time that this is happening? And then I like died a few times because I was being an idiot. But yeah, that was just one of my little critiques of that.
The parry is really early, isn't it? Like, you have to parry really early.
Yeah. You do, like, they have a massive trigger movement, and it's right at the beginning.
Yeah. It's not like, oh, I've spotted it, and you try and do it late, like you do with every other game. It's like, no, I know they're coming, and you do it like a second early.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Although you can also just hold down L1, and eventually they do a little break off, and you get a chance to attack as well. Which, I mean, this is the thing. I obviously really like the Kurosawa films, like the old ones. So the main thing this game has given me, having completed it, is a real desire to watch those films again, which, as it is designed as a homage to them, I kind of feel they've achieved what they set out to achieve there. But I don't know about you, but about 2 and a bit hours into it, I was just going through it to finish the story. Like, that was the key thing.
Yes.
The fighting had lost all appeal at that stage.
I didn't make it that far.
Yeah, we know, Kirk, you bailed out after like 15 minutes.
1 hour 15, actually.
Yeah, no, but 15 minutes of actual progress. So what you spent the rest of the time on, I'm not sure. But it really should have been through that quicker.
Yeah, the game is about 4.5 to 5 hours long.
Yeah.
It's an odd one because the look of it is great.
Yes.
From a technical standpoint, I think that the frame rate isn't fantastic.
It's shocking.
Didn't bother me.
Shocking.
Didn't bother me at all. So I'm saying this, it's not a massive mark on it at all. But the frame rate wasn't great, and I do think that the style definitely helped from the graphical standpoint. I think if it didn't have that grainy black and white Kurosawa type look to it, it might not have looked very good. I think that masked over a lot of the cracks, but that's absolutely fine because it's also a design choice, so it allows them to do that. So that's fine as well.
On the frame rate, I'm just surprised that a game like this couldn't lock. It's not exactly demanding, is it? Let's be honest.
No, but it's optimization, isn't it? And
yeah, I guess so.
You don't know how many people made this. Like, could have been a few people, whatever. But and they might have done a. Yeah, I don't know. But the frame rate, I didn't think it impacted gameplay at all. But but you could notice it.
Yeah. It's got quick resume though.
So
it does have quick resume.
It does have quick resume.
It does.
But the game itself, I asked myself several times when playing this, am I having fun?
Never ask that question, Ben.
You're not having fun if you've got to ask that question.
No, the game isn't fun. For me personally, it's not fun. It's not a good game. I'd give it like a 5.5, a 6 out of 10, maybe. That type of level.
What makes it not fun though? Like to get you to that conclusion?
It's boring. It
was repetitive and boring. Like the story isn't that engaging.
It's a classic, but it's not.
Yeah, but it's not that engaging. Oh, you can make a few choices. Who cares? I don't care what choice I'm making. Yeah. I actually made one choice, and then you can you basically have to reaffirm your choice later on. Just made a different one. Yeah. All right.
I personally found some of the camera angles very jarring as well. So when you were going into like the,
I liked that actually.
I really didn't, and it kind of reminded me of like old school Resident Evil games, like with the tank controls. So you could freely move about sometimes, and then you'd actually be locked into a position. Like on the next screen.
It was strange that you had no sign of it. But I did like the way the side-scrolling progression was done. I liked the fact that it changed direction, and I liked the way some of that worked. But having weirdly wide paths that you were completely mainlined through was odd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it gave a massive sense of actually the game having some depth. I thought the way they did it was brilliant. Like I said to myself as it was going along, like, this is called a side-scrolling game.
Yeah.
But this is the most innovative side-scrolling game I've ever played in terms of art direction, in terms of how they've got you round the place. Like, Kirk, you didn't like that kind of artistic choice, but I thought that was I thought that was one of the few things that was quite masterful in terms of how they then commanded the area by making you feel like this was actually a lot bigger than it was. But the game itself gets quite repetitive. Yeah. There is no difficulty to the game except for the final boss. Really, weirdly, that then it's like, oh, now we're just going to notch it up four or five difficulties.
Honestly, his ads were far more annoying than he was as well. That was just so annoying.
It just felt a bit unnecessary. It's like I played this whole game and then that, but like I was playing it to complete it. If we didn't do a podcast, I would have just sacked it off. I mean, Kirk does a podcast anyway and still sacked it off.
I'm the honest gamer. I'm the honest grumpy gamer.
Yeah, but I did want to finish it because I knew it wasn't that long. But I think I said to you, Pete, like, if somebody had said that this is a 10-hour game, I'd go, fuck that noise.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean,
it's just there was nothing for them for me. And I know I don't like samurai games and all that kind of stuff, but I could get into them. It's just, I thought I was really looking forward to this. I actually wanted a challenging side-scroller. I just wasn't.
See, this is the thing for me again. There's so many things they've done well in this, and yet the actual game itself is not one of them.
Absolutely. It's the opposite.
That's a shame. Yeah.
It's the opposite of Switch Sports. Like,
Maybe we just need to get those people talking.
Everything about this, though, it ticks so many boxes. We were saying this on the phone, Pete. We were like the atmosphere, the setting, the traversal around the world. I like it.
Yep.
Like the basic type of combat. Yeah, okay, I'm down with it. There is a story which they're trying to tell, and it's a classic. Yeah, okay, fine. Doesn't work.
Yeah,
game doesn't work.
Because after like 3 chapters, the combat is dead to you, and that is the only gameplay mechanic, really.
And after 3 chapters, you're Googling how many chapters are there?
Yes, yeah, that is actually in my search history as well. And I think I called you specifically to ask. because you just said you completed it, and I think I just finished chapter 4, and I was like, right, I need to know how many more there are, because if I'm not past halfway, then this is done.
I do find it a bit weird because on Twitter or whatever, and everyone's have your own opinion and all that kind of stuff, and that's fine. But people say like, "Oh, this game is beautiful, it's epic." Somebody described it as epic.
That's not how I would describe it. Beautiful, yes, not epic.
But even beautiful, like
stylized,
like it's stylized. It's fantastically stylized.
Yeah, I think it's a very attractive game. I would get. I
mean, it's. I don't think graphically it's good or anything. I think it's just that they use lighting and the fact that it's black and white and the excuse of it being grainy because they're allowed to do that. I think they use all of that to their advantage.
Fair enough.
Then again, I'm also a fan of this style in general, so I suppose I would like it more than you, regardless.
I'll do. As we've all played it, I think this would be good. So Ben, you what would be your final verdict out of 10?
I think 5.5.
Okay. And Pete?
I would normally be harsher than Ben, so keep that in mind in the ranking, because for Ben, a 4 is the worst possible result, and I would still probably give this a 5.5.
Okay. I mean, it's very average. I didn't finish it, but I would probably just give it a 5. It's got its merits. But
can you grade something you've barely started?
Yeah, when you play an hour and 15 minutes.
I don't think you can. This is Dead Space all over again.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, thank you for asking us to judge it, Kirk, but I don't think you're in a place to do so.
Your opinion means shit all to me, Pete. So
fantastic.
Tell us what you'd give Dead Space. Let's not get into that.
Let's not get into that. We've got a guest to bring in.
It can only make it worse, and we do have a guest to bring in, which is going to be fantastic. And here he is. Our guest has arrived. I suppose the first question we should ask is, what the fuck do you want?
Well, that's a very rude question. Not even a bit of dinner first?
I know. I will buy you breakfast, though.
Ooh.
He's lying. He won't do that. He won't even give you a cigarette for free.
I'll be long gone before that. Anyway.
Why is that money on the dresser?
And why has it changed, not notes? No. Yeah. But no, I feel we probably should let you introduce yourself a little bit.
Oh, well, I would be Deadbeat Punk on the internet. I'm probably banned from some of your favourite forums. My real name is Christopher Love, and I've recently started using that. I've got a podcast, and are you hoping to monetize this episode?
No, God no.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm from What the Fuck Do You Want?
Fantastic. Yes, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I love the disclaimer there as well, even though I'd openly sworn twice.
It's always good to check.
Yeah,
it's always good to check.
Ben does edit me out occasionally, but not to that extent. So
it's all right for the host to swear, but the guest just has to check. It's like, do you want me to have my boots on? And can I swear?
That's exactly it.
Yeah, no, you can openly swear, and I'm fully expecting more of it later on. But I suppose we should also introduce the feature a little bit, shouldn't we? So this is all based upon a question you asked us a couple of months ago, which we're only now getting around to answering.
Yes, you're nothing if not punctual.
Yeah. That is what's said about us. That's the main review we get. Very punctual. Yeah.
Well, thankfully, I got sent the question again because I completely forgot what I said, because I send a lot of abuse to people. So, dearest Gimme Grumper Pricks. I'm not sure if I got your name wrong on purpose or not, so I'll let that one pass.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you boys could use a little team building, but the whole team's not here because Eddie's let us down.
That's true.
That's true.
He could have taught me how to speak Irish.
Honestly, the feedback on his Irish accent has been fantastic, but I'm not sure it was for its accuracy.
That would have been a great interaction, actually. I think he could have learned quite a bit, and he's going to miss this.
Which one's the Irish one? I can't tell.
They're the same.
Because a well-crafted machine with only one greasy component, open bracket, Eddie, close bracket, is liable to fail under the slightest hint of pressure. Let's face it, you're no way, team. At the moment, you're not even a Portuguese rip-off of the Power Rangers. This isn't entirely your fault. We're born ignorant, not arrogant. So, I want every member to list their favourite game of all time. GOAT time. Now, this isn't Metacritic, Edge Top 100, IGN Reach Around Trombone time. I want to hear about your game of games. Speak with your heart, not your reviewing systems. I then want every member to mock that choice as much as possible. Fear games are futile. There's no rhyme nor reason to why we love them. It's like parents that have ugly kids and love them anyway. Hopefully they love them. Eh, Pete? Bond through mutual piss-taking and feel your bond strengthen. That's from Deadbeat Punk, the WTFDYW, question mark, exclamation mark, cunt.
Honestly, for one thing, I really hope Kirk was checking how you read things, because he does need instruction. So
I mean, it was fucking seamless. It was absolutely seamless. Kirk, take fucking note.
Yeah, please do.
That's how you do it.
Deadbeat Punk, do you want a spot on Grumpy Gamers? I'm quite happy to leave. Honestly.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
At this point, I'm done.
I feel this has been a heavy show.
I think I can do better, but thanks for the offer.
You can definitely do better. No,
Yeah.
Kirk can't, however, so get back in your box.
You little bitch.
So, yes, you wanted to know our favourite game of all time.
So I think the thing that we wanted to just make sure, because there were a couple of key words that you said there. You said favourite game and game of all time, and those are two different things. So we want to know which one out of those two you want.
Favourite game of all time. I thought it was inclusive. I didn't realise you were going to overanalyse it and separate it into two different categories. But sure, you do you, Kirk.
Come on, we've had 8 weeks to overthink this. This has been all our preparation has been.
I thought it got clearer when he read it there. I thought it got clearer. Like this
clearer,
is
yes.
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
This isn't
You're saying how the question
this
was
No,
read
this is
out
clear.
made the difference. Yes.
No, it wasn't. It's just that we had the question in front of us when you said that there, because what we had yesterday was Kirk relaying us what he thought the question
Paraphrased.
was. Yeah, and he can't even paraphrase the news when he's read 2
So
paragraphs.
he was
to tell
trying
us what it's
to
about.
spin my question to suit his narrative.
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
not having this. I like that I've only been here 5 minutes as well, and it's just start bullying Kirk. It's
Honestly,
Okay, so
it's
we are
part of the
going
method
with
today.
we're going with the goat. All right, got it. Okay, so
show us your goat.
Your
It's your
favourite
own
game.
personal goat, Kirk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your favourite game.
Yeah.
No rhyme, no reason. Just other than your
it's not
favourite
the game
game.
you think is the best game of all time. It's for other people. It's the game for you that is. It's your goat. Yeah.
all right,
It's your goat.
okay. I'm glad that was cleared up, because I'm fucking useless.
Oh, I'm sorry. Next time I'll write in, I'll be clearer.
Honestly, you might need to be. But no, I think because we've now made it so clear for Kirk, we should definitely start with him.
Okay, my favorite is Rocket League. I fucking love that game. I really fucking do. I'm going to start off by saying that I've not played more than 926 hours of it. So yeah, I don't love it at all. I got on board with it when lockdown 1 happened, or was it lockdown 2? Can't remember. It was lockdown. And it was to play with the lads. We were doing drinking games and stuff. I didn't know what the fucking thing was. I just knew it as car football, basically. I don't like football, so I was like, "Is this really going to be any good?" But I can't do anything anyway, so let's go and do it. And it's as every week went on, I got progressively better and more enjoyable with the game. And once lockdown finished and we're doing our normal lives and stuff, I'm still playing it. I will play it at least 3 or 4 times a week. Like, just for short sessions. See, I can't talk properly. You see, this is the problem I've got.
Was that a train?
Anyway, yes, it is a train, and they're not getting edited out. So basically, it's just I just love the community. I think is one of the best aspects of it. Like, there is no other game like this for a start, but the community really does drive it. They can either be fucking toxic as shit to you, or the complete polar opposite. And I have fallen in both sides of those camps before.
Wait, Kirk, you've been non-toxic in Rocket League?
I have.
When?
You're the most toxic player I know.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, for me, the community's lovely, but every time I've played alongside you, it's been really toxic.
Mate, don't go there. We've been playing on Friday nights, and you've been getting involved with the toxicity as well, so don't. All right?
Pete,
Anyway.
Pete, is Kirk any good now?
No, God no.
You're a cunt.
I knew it.
Such a
But
cunt.
at least you haven't played very long, Kirk. At least you really picked it up fast.
No, not at all. So yeah, this game it's my go-to. It's the thing that I've been playing constantly. I think it was November 2020, October 2020 is when I started playing it. I'm still playing it to this day, and I don't remember the last time I played a game for as long as I have, and put in as much time as I have with this one. And even though it's free to play, I think I've synced about 40 quid into it with microtransactions, just because I've gotten so much enjoyment out of it. Yeah,
I knew you'd bought stuff in that game. I knew you had.
I'm not hating on that because you spent 1,000 hours on it.
I think of course it's not the value. Fine. I just knew you had.
I'll go and spend 40 quid on a game and only get 10 hours out of it. I think I've got my money's worth out of 40 quid. I won't spend any more on it now, but I think I could throw the devs some money. So, but yeah.
What's great is that people will see you and be like, oh, he spent money, he must be really good. And then when they beat you, it makes them feel really good.
Mate, yeah. I'm Diamond 2, so I think that's pretty decent.
What's even better, Ben, is imagine if they once listened to this podcast and found out they just beat him at his favourite game. It wasn't even hard.
That would be soul destroying, if I'm being honest. Anyway, so that's my initial spiel on this.
Oh, Kirk, you should do a community night and play against people.
Do you know what? That's not a bad idea.
Kirk, I think you might want to wait till you're in a better mood, buddy.
Fuck off,
pump up those rookie numbers. 926 hours is not enough.
If I want rookie numbers, Ben, I'll get you on the fucking team.
Kirk, it's well documented that I'm better than you at this game.
Yeah, because you verbally say it. That's all. You don't actually action it.
Well, no, the last time you played, Ben was definitely better than you.
Absolutely. That was the last time. What's happened since then?
It's well documented.
900 hours. 925 hours has happened.
Actually, Kirk, I reckon it's only about 200 hours since then. But no, the thing was, it's been... Obviously, me and Ben both played Rocket League before Kirk started, and I still play it occasionally now. And seeing Kirk develop in the game has been excellent. Although, if someone were to invest 900 hours, you would expect more. Like, you just would. I mean, I've played like 300-ish.
Have you ever gone out to dinner with another couple and they're obviously sniping each other? And you just sit there and bask in the awkwardness? Yeah,
this is what you wanted, though, right?
This is what you wanted.
This is what you
asked for this.
I didn't think it would be as catty. I thought it would be a bit.
You should see us in real life.
Yeah, Kirk, we try and avoid that for other reasons, though.
That's upsetting.
So, okay, you went with Rocket League, though. That's fair enough. Fair enough.
I am glad you went with Rocket League because you had kind of two choices, didn't you? Like, it's your big games, and I'm glad you went with Rocket League because that was kind of the theme of like your favorite game, which it wouldn't be seen as a choice for a goat, would it? From most people, but
true.
Fair play, Rocket League.
Thank you. I think
so. Does anybody have the heart to rip it apart?
As a game, no. I think we've already said enough about Kirk as a player. But as a game, it's fantastic. It's remarkably simple. It's really good fun.
The thing is, it's so much better than you ever think it's going to be. That's what I'd say about Rocket League. If you're playing with mates, I cannot imagine. I know you do play this alone, Kirk, don't you? I cannot imagine playing it alone. I think that would be quite sad.
Thank you. That's cutting.
Having a barbecue by yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just
in the rain.
That'd be a bit much for me. That'd be a bit much for me. So, fair play to you for that.
Okay, thanks. I think. Can we move on to the next person?
I feel you got away lightly there, but sure, yeah. Who would like to tell us their next goat?
I'll tell you my goat.
Give me your goat.
My goat is Football Manager.
You're picking this whole series of games?
Well, I was going to pick 2010, but I don't think because that was my most played version. I don't think I really need to, though, because Football Manager never changes. Your favourite game needs to be something that you know absolutely everything about. You don't need to think about it. You can just sit down and play at any time. There's no surprises. You've done it all. You've done every which way of settings and all that kind of stuff. I've never played a game so much as I've played Football Manager. I've never wasted so much time. It's taken me from school days to university, afterwards, like everything, and I've never been affected so much so much as losing like the Champions League final or something. That no game has ever affected me like Football Manager has. I remember being a kid and probably weeping. I say probably weeping, having lost like something. Like
bawling your eyes out. Yeah.
Absolutely. Just and as an adult,
complaining to your parents, and you still do.
Absolutely, wearing my blazer and pretending to be a manager
and your cravat.
That's happened as a child.
Just when he got back from grammar school, that's just how it was.
Yeah, cravat is just an option that I like in general life, so it's not for Football Manager.
Got this mental image of you, Blazer, holding a slice of orange, punching the wall.
As a kid, that's so
accurate.
True, yeah. It's not. You'd be very surprised. But yeah, it's the variation in that game is fantastic because you could do such different playthroughs. Even in one career, it's so different. So, and what I really like about it is that I get excited for every single release of this game, and I get disappointed every single time that nothing has changed, and I like that feeling.
You like. Like that constant disappointment. That's you're just at a level all the time.
Absolutely. I know where I'm at with it. I know where it's at itself. And even when it tries to change itself, Pete, we've talked several times about me enjoying an MMO, getting into an MMO.
Yeah.
I realised the other day I have got into an MMO. I've played an MMO. Football Manager Live came out when I was at university, and I dedicated about 6 months of my life to that fucking game. Then it became very apparent that the people who made Football Manager really didn't know how gamers operate when they just lose all the time and they just fucking quit, and it's not fun for anyone. So they didn't really account for Football Manager fans being actual gamers and acting like children. So but I did enjoy an MMO, and it was fucking Football Manager. Like it was that game's gone through my whole gaming life, and I wouldn't swap it for anything else. If I had to play one game for the rest of my life, it would just be that game.
Yeah, but that's not one game. That's one game every year for the rest of your life.
Pete, if I just had to play one game, for the rest of my life, it would be that game.
My God, yeah, that's ridiculous.
I think sim games too, when you were a kid, because you didn't have a new release every other week as we do now.
Yes,
you needed to get hours out of them.
Yes,
you did, and you got so few games back then as well. Like in comparison, anyway. So I suppose
when my brother used to bring home like a new version of Championship Manager 2, because Championship Manager is obviously in this series as well. Like you have like the Dutch version of Championship Manager 2, you'd be like, yes, this is fucking amazing. Them were the days.
That's. I mean, I do think you've gone for one here, which is difficult to mock because it's so goddamn popular. Like,
it's so fucking huge. It's like the best-selling PC game of all time.
Ah, for fuck's sake! It's a jumped-up spreadsheet.
This is actually what I was going to point out, which is also why Ben loves it. And I haven't, Ben, didn't you write a paper on this?
Yes, my dissertation, my economics dissertation at university was
fucking hell.
Yes,
very much based on it.
You took an enjoyable pastime based on an Excel spreadsheet and turned it into an actual Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, I did a full econometric evaluation of
what mark did you get?
Yeah. I got a first. I got a first-class master's degree.
Of course he bloody did. He put like 10,000 hours in his research.
I bought the game. I actually told my dad, I said, I need Football Manager, Dad, because got to use the data editor for, find out some ability scores. So from a dissertation,
Did that actually
happen? That actually happened.
Oh
Absolutely happened, yeah.
Whilst you're wearing your cravat, yeah?
No, that was before my cravat stage.
It's going to be a big season, Daddy. I need it.
I also have a vague recollection of there being a short phase in your teens where you used to just sink beers at home playing Football Manager on your own.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, absolutely.
Hold on. Wait. So, thank you, Pete.
You've on his own, just sinking beers with Football Manager.
You've said it's quite sad me playing Rocket League on my own and not with my mates, yet you're there drinking in a dark room playing Football Manager.
Rocket League by yourselves,
Kirk, Football Manager is a one-player game, and are you saying it's sad to sink beers on your own? Then you're insulting everyone. Come on.
I mean...
Playing Football
It's like
Manager.
chess, this conversation, but yes... Rocket League by yourself is kind of like wanking in front of a mirror. It's not how it's intended to be played.
I mean,
Really?
I've never made that comparison, but okay.
I agree wholeheartedly. I agree wholeheartedly with that statement.
Of course you do.
I do also, though, I still think this is a massive cop-out to pick a game that is actually 15 games in a trench coat. Like,
I'm sorry, it's the same game every year, so...
yes, that is
What did you
also
want?
undeniably true. But you did pick an easy one. What was your other option, Ben? What was your backup option?
My backup option was Last of Us 2 because I just think it's the greatest narrative that's been told in a game.
Okay.
Yeah, I also think the melee combat in that game was some of the finest that I've seen mechanics wise, and the graphical animations of it. I thought and the twist in what happens in that game and what you have to do with the gameplay, absolutely fucking phenomenal.
Ben,
It was the online Twitter outrage that bumped it up by 10 points for me.
Yeah, just because everyone's
Reading the salty tears online, and you could absorb them. You're like,
feast
It was one
feast
hell
on
of
them.
a reaction, wasn't it? One hell of a reaction.
I loved it because there were several things in that game that like, yes, there was the obvious the spoilers, Joel dies, and then there was the then there was the change of the flip on the multi-character thing. Well, absolutely phenomenal. So,
but to get angry about the leaks, to not even play the game and get angry at moments. Maybe these things explain themselves when you experienced it.
Exactly.
No.
Oh yeah, I loved that. That was so good.
What I like most here, though, is that Ben has picked the two games that have made him cry the most times, and I don't think many people would have realised that Football Manager was more than The Last of Us 2. I do like that, but
It's because he's had 15. He's had 15 years of it. So
Of the same game, Kirk.
constant crying. You got to remember, he's at that level, so he's just constantly
25
crying.
years. No, 25 years. I think I've been playing Football Manager / Championship Manager for probably 27 years, something like that.
I would love to know how many hours you've put into that. You mock me for my 926 hours.
Kirk, I mock you because you're not very good.
yes, yeah.
We need to do a 1v1 because you're being such an arsehole right now.
Cack, you'll just get talked out of it within like 30 seconds. Like, we were playing with another friend of ours so many times who you had played 100 times as much over each week, and he'd still beat you every time.
Are you talking
Every
about?
time.
Are you talking about the farmer?
Yes, of course I am.
No, I'd been drinking. He hadn't.
When has he not been drinking? But he would beat you every week.
Are you trying to say that you get worse at driving when you've been drinking? Because that's just not true.
You get better, don't you?
Oh, big time. It's like darts.
Go on, Pete. What's yours?
Yeah, so this is, I found this one quite tricky because, unlike Ben, I didn't just choose the entire Total War series, which would have been an easier way to do it. And obviously I was going to do Warhammer Total War 2 because recency bias is a thing. But I actually realised that the one that probably stands out for me most is Medieval Total War 2 as my favourite game of all time.
Oh yeah.
What makes it stand out?
Well, it was the first one where they really got into everything. Like, everyone remembers the really old Total Wars, the ones where it was essentially a chessboard. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just different layout. And then they upgraded with Rome. And that was great, but it had a lot of limitations. And Medieval 2, they went beyond those. Well, like bringing in things like the Crusade mechanics and the Middle Eastern equivalent, which I forget the name of, Jihad. Yep, that's it. Having those brought in as mechanics made a big difference. And then having things like the expansion to the New World happen halfway through the game was a fantastic addition to it and made it interesting to play out on the western edge of Europe. And just bringing in things like merchants and other agents onto the map properly made such a huge difference to that game as well. While also being the last one of all of that series, I can remember where I enjoyed the siege battles. Like, recently siege battles have become just a chore in the Total War games, especially in the Warhammer ones, because there's just so many of them. And once you know how to win it, there's really no reason to play them over again. Whereas in Medieval 2, you could do things like defending a castle with like 3 units against 2 full armies. And it was a fantastic challenge, and you might just pull it off with a hell of a lot of luck. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kirk, don't you think Pete is the most predictable gamer?
Says the man who picked Football
Not only
Manager.
that, he's a fucking nerd, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, God, yeah, I'm a massive nerd.
Such
Sorry,
a
was that
nerd.
He's a min-maxer to the Max.
Yes, that as well. Yeah.
I mean, I could just see him there painting statues, little figures, and he's not playing the game at all.
There was a phase I did, as did Eddie.
I was wondering how quickly we were going to turn this round to Warhammer, but
yeah, of course. I mean, the funny thing is, they haven't actually attacked the game once here.
No.
They've just gone for me, body shots.
To be honest, like
nerd. We're talking on a podcast about computer games in our 30s. I think we've established we're nerds. Like, come on.
We'll pull out the spreadsheet here, and apparently, out of 100 paedophiles asked, their favourite game was Total War.
Wait, how many out of 100?
That actually, do you know what? That actually says a shit ton about Pete.
Does it, Kirk? Does it actually?
I love the silence. I love the silence, then.
Jesus, what?
I was trying to do the
disclaimer.
mental
Pete is
arithmetic
not a paedophile. Don't worry, he's not. Okay.
I was just wondering what he'd gone through to get to that point. Like, anyway.
Christ. Anyway, Total War, though. I tell you what, when I played the latest one, it's not simple, obviously, and the battles make it quite complex, and I think there's so much variety that you can do with it. But the actual mechanics of that game has not changed at all. It's like Football Manager. It just doesn't change, does it? Like
in the general terms, yeah. I mean, they've done a lot in the recent ones to bring in like extra mechanics, but the basics are always there and they're always the same.
Yeah, I'm quite impressed. What I am impressed is that you can spend thousands of hours playing that game, because I don't see the variety in it. Like, I obviously see the variety in the different like starting people you can be, but I don't see how it can grab you in such a way. But you use mods, don't you?
Yes. So I mean, with mods, Ben, there's 130 something different start positions in Warhammer 2.
Yeah, but they are they're variations of similar ones that exist, though, aren't they?
The thing, I mean, I don't have much experience with these games, but they just look fucking boring, and I don't understand the appeal to them. Which probably says a lot about my character, but then it probably says a lot about yours as well.
I'll tell you what the appeal is in my mind, and it's the same as Football Manager, that you can play in front of the TV.
It is a huge bonus, yeah. That is a huge bonus. Yeah, I'm not going to lie.
I'm about that life. I'm about that life. That's why I like the Switch, because I like handheld gaming. I like being able to do two things at once. And so I can, yeah. And even Rocket League, Kirk, I started playing Rocket League on my Switch on handheld. That's how I got into Rocket League.
By yourself?
Yeah.
By myself. And then I thought I had to play this with friends.
Over the barbecue?
It's pretty sad.
Yeah.
In the rain.
Exactly, yeah. This was But no, I mean, I suppose that's the biggest thing with this is it is a strategy game. So if you're not into strategy games, you're not going to like it. Like, no, you can easily
this is the thing.
You can easily point out it's just painting a map at the end of the day. Like, that is it.
That's a good way to look at it, I guess.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like you've wasted time playing that game?
No, not even vaguely.
Right, that's cool.
Not compared to how the other ways I could spend my time.
I find that very interesting, because I feel like you could ask that question to any three of us and we'd all come up with the same answer, yet we'd all
say no. Yeah,
we'd all say no, but we could also argue why the other person or the other people have wasted time.
Yeah, well, you could also point out that everything we do is wasting time and it's all a great stall before the end. But that feels a bit of a dark way to go.
Christ.
I'm just thinking, I am so glad we grew up before achievements were a thing. Can you imagine from the day you pick up a controller to the day it drops out of your cold dead hands, there's a score against your name?
Yeah, I'm quite glad that on PlayStation it's not kind of shown to you as much. Like, I don't achievement hunt at all. I don't trophy hunt, and on the Xbox it's got kind of like a score. I don't go after it. I'm so glad that we didn't have that originally, because I don't buy into it. Like, none of us buy into it, do we? Kirk, you don't even buy into it, do you?
The only time I've ever done achievements nowadays is for the Microsoft rewards. That's it.
Yeah, and that's paid off for you, actually.
Yeah. So, but other than that, no, I don't. I think I'm on like 75k, but that's because I used to play a lot of games and I used to do it, but I really don't have any interest in it anymore. There's no point.
Yeah.
Nintendo doesn't do it. If you take your Xbox, Sony, Nintendo, Steam achievement scores, add them all up, divide them by how long you lived, and that's the unit you wasted your life by. That's what they'll stick on your gravestone.
That's a horrible.
That's your true gamer score.
That's your true gamer score. Holy shit!
And it's permanently imprinted on your headstone. Fantastic, yeah.
I think we have to turn this question back though. We have to turn it back on its head and say.
You want me to show you me goat?
Yes,
Yeah.
I want to see the goat.
Where's the goat?
Where's the fucking goat? I was promised a goat.
Well, my goat would be The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, and not the Switch remake or even the Color DX upgrade when Nintendo used to, actually put a bit of effort into their remasters, remakes, whatever.
Yeah.
This is the original monochromatic classic fucking adventure of mystery, intrigue, all contained within a grey cartridge that contained like 2 megabytes of data, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, riddle me this: when you were a kid,
Hit
did
me.
you
Come
complete
on.
that? Did you complete that yourself
Yeah.
without any hints or guides or whatever?
No, because by the time I picked it up, it had already been out for a year or two. And unless you bought magazines when the game released, you had no hope.
Of course, yeah.
That game is so. It's one of those old games where it's like, yeah, we're just going to increase the time involved here by just making an arsehole. Oh, there's this bush over there that you have to hit. That there's nothing that tells you that needs to be done.
There was a dungeon, and it was great because everybody got stuck on it when the remake came out. And I think it's the 7th dungeon where you need.
I know the one.
drop a
I think I
ball.
know the one that you're talking about.
Yeah,
It's got loads of switches in it.
it does. But one of the puzzles require you to throw the ball down a specific portion of a hole,
Yes.
and it'll fall to the floor below.
Yes.
I think it was used once or twice in that dungeon. Never explained. Even the little owl statues give you no clue. But when you were a kid, Game Boy, 4 AA's, let's go. You tried everything. It took me, I'd say, 6 or 8 months to finish that game.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's a 10-hour game.
Mm-hmm.
But
I could do
can
it in
imagine
one
it take
sitting
it.
now.
Yeah, absolutely. That game, and even right up until the last, when you're right at the end, and you have to go to that fucking like library or something and look up that book that tells you left, right, up, down.
Not only look at that book, you have to do the trading sequence to get the
Oh,
magnifying
you have to do that
glass.
full fucking sequence to get
Yeah.
That game is so up its own fucking arse. Like it's just, it's a terrible
So
video
this
game.
is what I was hoping for.
It's a terrible.
now it's gone on you.
Video game. Like
Because
I stand by
this
that.
is back when it was a green, dark, monochrome screen, chirpy, a bit chip tunes. The batteries only lasted about 4 hours.
Chirpy 8-bit tunes. It would have sounded like our intro music, wouldn't it?
Oh, I'm so jealous of that intro. I want to steal that. It's the best bit of the show.
Oh, this is by far.
That's not unfair.
Yeah. Although I do
Kirk
miss
once
leaving the
complained that it
outtakes
was too
before.
long.
It's
Kirk once complained it was too long. I think when we just started the podcast, he said,
Kirk.
"Oh, your
That's the
intro's
bit
too
of the
long."
show that's too long. That's the
It's like,
bit.
fuck you.
I will say, Ben, what I do like is
hurtful.
every time I listen back, I'm sure you've got the music volume slightly higher than the volume of our words. So, like, if you roll between podcasts, you end one and then this next one kicks in, it's 10 times louder. It's just like,
That
"Oh,
used to be
Christ."
the case. That definitely used to be the case. I've had to take it down some decibels.
I've still
we're go-
noticed it recently. But yeah.
Okay, well, I might turn it down a bit more. But we're going off topic.
Yes.
That Zelda game, everybody rates that Zelda game so highly. It's fucking loved. Fucking loved. You're one of the crowd. You're one of the sheep because that is a terrible fucking.
That's
game.
one of the things that he doesn't want to be as well. I think I've seen you say that you wouldn't be a sheep, but you are.
Clearly are.
You are. How does that make you feel?
Am I a sheep or a goat? What?
You're a sheep goat.
Sheep goat.
Classic sheep goat.
Fucked about
Is that
here.
What I do like about this is we've definitely learned that Ben did not complete this game without guides.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely
Ben
used to
didn't
guide.
complete the
Sounds like-
game.
7-year-old's punk is a better player than you are, is what I'm hearing here.
No, he's a more relentless player. 8
He-
months. Ben's precious with his time now.
Yes, but look at what he gained. The problem solving, finding the logic within dungeon crawling.
There's no logic. The logic
Perseverance.
isn't there. You didn't solve
The
anything.
strength of
You
that
just-
young
you
man's
wandered-
character.
You wandered around until you just happened upon the answer.
Oh, fuck I.
Yeah,
Throw things in holes.
You've got to remember, Ben needed to respect that time so that he could put more time into Football Manager.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. I've got limited time after thousands of hours in Football Manager.
As it's the game of mine, of the heart, how many of you have heard games are not art because they would never inspire strong
I
emotions
have
in you?
heard that. Yeah.
You haven't heard that?
Yeah.
No, I have many times.
I will link you, Kirk.
Well,
You
now.
awkward fuck. No, not now. I'm not talking to you after this is done.
Don't give Kirk something to read. He's not going to do that.
I
Get him
can't
to
read.
read it out loud.
At the very least, keep it to like 2 sentences tops. Come on. And preferably no words of more than 1 syllable.
On completion of this game, I cried. I was going to say I cried like a child. I was a child. I'll not spoil it for Ben because he obviously hasn't finished it. But that ending comes out of nowhere, hits you a gut punch, and fucks off. And
That the ending, the ending's like, it's like, well, what's the point in even playing it?
says the boy on the fucking spreadsheet. What's the point of playing Football Manager? You're not really managing a football team, you know. You're doing fucking nothing. You're moving numbers
ending,
about.
That ending made it like, well, why? It was pointless.
What's the point of being alive if that's the case? You know, if you want to go that far, you know, to experience things.
Actually,
No,
I know you
experience
don't.
things.
I know you don't know the ending, Kirk, but that's quite poignant.
I figured that it probably was. Yeah.
Well, you cried to that. You know, that makes me feel bad for a moment.
To be honest, guys, I feel that what's the point of being alive is probably the best jumping off point we've got for ending the show, though.
Pete loves staying alive.
That's what one feature with you did for us. Thank you, Crystal.
Coming after Link's Awakening, I'll put a blowtorch to your feet.
And he fucking will. If Eddie was here, his feet would be off right now.
And if somebody would like to hear more of your well, it doesn't end up on such a depressing note on your normal show, but if anyone wants to catch your
Not
normal
normally,
show,
but my latest one before this week's release was all about daddy issues, and that was horrible. I will not be booking that guest again.
I really hope you told them, and this isn't the feedback method you're taking.
Yeah, he's going to link to this show and say, "This is my feedback for you."
Timestamp it and link it across. There we go.
but
So
where can we find your podcast?
If you want to hear any more of me for any particular reason, you can go to WTFDYW.co.uk, and that's the Buzzsprout page where you can hear everything, and it links all the socials on the top right corner. And if you're feeling a little bit risky on it, you can go to youcunts.co.uk if that hasn't been chopped out of the edit. I don't know where your bar is for swearing.
It won't be. You're absolutely fine.
You're fine.
Oh,
That's
sweet.
fine.
That's not actually the
Youcunts.co.uk.
We haven't seen the bar in a long time.
Pizzapedo.net.
I wondered
Just seeing if that's available.
Fantastic.
Still don't see the bar. Still don't see it.
Yeah.
Right. And our socials.
Kirksteinmirror.net.
What?
Kirkstained Mirror.
Oh no,
Too
not
much
that.
Rocket League.
No,
right.
too much
Okay. Right. You can email us at podcast@grumpygamers.co.uk. You can tweet us and Kirk in particular at grumpygamerspod. We have a YouTube channel, Grumpy Gamers Podcast, and we'll be streaming on Twitch this Thursday, 7 p.m. again, and that's Grumpy Gamers Podcast, all one word.
Yes, indeed. But for this week,
You've done that before.
for this week, it is GG.
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 Get fucked. Still angry about this Link's Awakening thing? You've made a fucking enemy for life.